everything else that goes into it. But I think we do need to start with the Leafs here. Nick Ritchie on waivers after 30 games.
Oh, man. I totally forgot.
8 points he's had in 30 games, and it seemed like everybody was rooting for him. I mean, the guy signed a 2-year contract worth $5 million. Yeah. All the players on the team, like when he scored, they were all super pumped about it. Everybody wanted him to succeed here. Why didn't he?
Oh boy, that's tough to quantify. He just doesn't feel like a fit at all, and it's unfortunate. Like net front, when he is in front of the net, that's where he got his only goal.
Mm-hmm.
When he's in front of the net, I think he looks perfectly fine. He looks at home.
Mm-hmm.
He looks like he knows what he's doing. He can move bodies. He can annoy people. He can score a goal. He can set a screen. I was giving him praise in my videos for getting what I call Daryl Boyce assists.
Yep.
Where he doesn't actually get an assist, but the goal doesn't happen without him. Man, when it's not in front of the net, what's your job? What's your gig, man? What do you do? He doesn't have the speed to keep up with this team at all.
Mm-hmm. That's the thing. It's like standing in place in front of the net and then saying, "Oh, he looks perfectly at home." It's like, ooh.
And he doesn't have the defensive awareness to make up for his lack of speed. But we sort of saw that in I think it was the game against the Oilers. There was a goal that was kind of on him. I didn't really hold it against him because I wasn't willing to hold anything from that game against anybody because they've played twice since December 21st. Come on. But the Leafs forward group is as healthy as it's been.
Mm-hmm. And he's not part of the 13 forwards that they have.
No, yeah. Kasha's obviously, I mean, the one good bit of news is, hey, Kasha's probably coming back if Ritchie's on waivers. They need the cap relief. They'll get it from this. And the good news, if you're still cheering for Nick Ritchie, is you can, because no one's going to claim him. I mean, we'll know by the time the show is up, and I could be completely wrong, but no one's claiming him. My guess is he gets sent to the Marlies. He hopefully gets his confidence back, playing probably top line, and probably scoring a ton. Like, I think he's at least good enough to score a ton in the American Hockey League, and then he's a useful player for the playoffs, hopefully.
I hope the Leafs find a way to trade Nick Ritchie. Because
to get him a situation?
He's an NHL player, and he doesn't fit on the team at all, and that's been evident since game one. And there's a place for him in the NHL, not on the Marlies. And to do right by him would be to find him a team where it works.
How do you take that contract, though?
So here's the structure of the deal, and I saw it yesterday, and I was like, oh, he ain't getting claimed. So it's not just that he has a $2.5 million cap hit. He makes so there's no signing bonus. He makes $1.7 million this season, 3.3 next. So if a contract goes down, hey, you might actually get claimed. And the Leafs will have paid X amount of his 3.3 this year. But because it's reversed, and I don't know who his agent is, I assume that deal was designed to keep him in Toronto. And technically it is. The Marlies play here. But he's not getting claimed. No team is claiming him.
I wonder if the agent did that because of COVID. If games were canceled and maybe they don't make as much money or something like that, or
maybe
until Omicron hit, or whatever, however it's pronounced. I've heard Omarion. Right? Okay. Since before Omarion hit, the NHL was on track to make about $5.3 billion this year, which would have outstripped the pace they were on the last time the seasons were normal in 2019. So they were on track to make more money this year. Obviously, new TV deals help with that. Than they did before COVID. And so maybe the agent was like, well, maybe the escrow number goes down or something like that, and he gets to keep more of the money. That's the only thing I could think of with that contract structure. But all the same, it's a lot. It's a lot.
And I looked into, well, what if they buy him out in the summer?
Okay.
And he would be a $300,000 cap penalty next season, I believe, and then 1.1 the next.
Yeah, it's too much.
And Phil Kessel's coming off the book. So they're going to get cap relief. Okay,
$2,000 a day. It'll work out to be about $1 million. If he stays down, it'll be about $1 million by the deadline.
Mm-hmm.
So that's good, I guess. But like, it's not great. It's not great for next year either.
It's not great for him.
No, that too. Like,
You
so
know?
is it worth it for the Leafs to do that? Or is it worth it for them to just have him in the organization? They do get cap relief by sending him to the minors. It's not as much as a buyout would provide, but you get the cap relief by burying him. Money is no object, so have him play for the Marlies. It's fine. And you have him.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if someone were to get hurt, Engvall goes down, I don't know, anybody in the Leafs lineup gets hurt, you could do worse than Nick Ritchie as a
totally
Ritchie.
13th forward.
And this is I don't know if it's a risk, but this is the idea that Kyle Dubas had going into the season, was that I'm going to pick up all of these strangling forwards, and then one of them's going to fail, a couple of them are going to work out, and then there's going to be the extra guys who don't fit in the lineup. It's why they had Kasha and Bunting and Ritchie, and even if you count the Engvall and Mikheyev pieces, they're forwards on the wings that you plug in around the big core, and a couple of them are going to fail, and a couple of them are going to work out, and then you're going to be stuck with tough decisions on guys like Nick Ritchie going down to the AHL.
Of the guys you just named, Nick Ritchie's by far the most paid. Right? I think,
which is,
you know what I mean? He's like double the other guys.
You're taking a bet on all these guys, and the one you paid the most is the one that's not working out.
Which means somebody else was after him.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
why
lots of other teams.
Yeah.
So
Nick Ritchie's a good player. It's just not in Toronto.
he'll be fine.
Yeah.
He'll
Certainly.
be fine. If he does go somewhere else, I think he'll have success. Like, you can point to, listen, his fancies are awful, but he scores, for God's sake. He scores, and he knows how to generate offense, which he didn't even do here, or hasn't even done here. I think he will. Like, guys don't forget how to play hockey.
And here's what I love, too. If people were, Leaf fans typically have to find a reason to be upset. So Leaf fans are like, oh, my God, and he signed all the way through next year. That's a bad contract. Well, first off, the Leafs don't have many, I would say, quote-unquote, bad contracts. Number two, for every 2-year Nick Ritchie contract, you have a David Kampf for $1.5 million, not just this year, but next. And Michael Bunting, not just this year, but next at $950,000.
Andre Kasha, at the end of this year, his contract expires. He's an RFA.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Because he was non-tendered, wasn't he?
Yep.
Wow.
So was Ritchie.
Holy
so was Ritchie.
smokes.
They were both non-tendered by the Bruins.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's really cool. Huh. I mean, listen, so
it's good. It's
you take some swings and you miss. And I guess to wrap up the conversation, is it likely that he gets traded this season? I don't think so. I don't love having a $2.5 million fourth liner, but at the same time, come playoff time, and if he has to work his way up the lineup, you don't hate it, right?
Here's what we know about Kyle Dubas. He's a man of his word, right? So the Leafs traded Alexander Barabanov to the Sharks for Suomela, a trade that Dubas and the Leafs have decidedly lost badly.
Why?
But because Barabanov is an NHL player who's actually producing. I think he's got 19 points, and Suomela is currently on an AHL deal with the Marlies. I think he has 1 goal. But it's because he promised Barabanov when he signed him, if it doesn't work out here, I'll find you a place. Like, people, you might, there's 2 different ways you could look at it. Oh, they sign a guy and then it doesn't work out, and after a couple months they sewer him and they get rid of him. Or, well, I mean, Nick Ritchie still, the checks are going to come no matter what. When are they due? That's when they come for him. So if you're an agent, you're like, well, at least he's getting the money, and he'll find him a situation.
As of 8 minutes ago, the Leafs have placed forwards Pierre Engvall and Mitch Marner in the NHL's COVID protocol.
I was about to faint. I thought you were going to say Engvall on waivers, and then you said Marner, and I was like, what?
Forwards Joey Anderson and Brett Sini have been assigned to the taxi squad. So we'll see.
So Marner's going to miss tomorrow night, I guess.
Yeah.
Not necessarily.
Not necessarily, yeah, because it could be like a false positive or something.
Matthews has supposedly had 2, and Dean, is it? Chenoweth, the assistant coach, did as well.